Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. 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 Yours. Got lots of love. Got lots of love. Lots of love. Got lots of love. Got lots of love. love.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the CGL Season 13 playoffs. We've got a matchup here in our NAGM tier. It's going to be UTOW Academy Blues versus Cerberus Esports, the defending mid-season champions of this NAGM tier, going up against Cerberus, who are having a pretty good tournament themselves.
Yeah, I mean, we took a look at it. Both teams finished the regular season with the same record, but with UT obviously taking that mid-season, they're going to have, one more win, hence the higher seed tonight. And as you can see from our background, UT has decided to go with Oasis as their first map pick, which, we'll see how that goes and what they decide they're going to do. But let's go ahead and see the roster for UT. And we're going to have...
Go ahead, man. That's all you.
All right.
Dog.
All right, we're going to have Kirsten on that tank roll. We got Flemmy and Zeus. I like the way they spelled Zeus, by the way, on DPS. And then Spicy Toast and again on that support line. Of course, the person named Spicy Toast is the Lucio player. Who else would it be?
Yeah. And, they like their, you can tell by this roster lineup scene that they kind of like Rush. I doubt we're going to see Reinhardt, but I do kind of expect some kind of Rush here tonight from UTOW. But let's get a look at their challengers in Cerberus Esports. You're going to have Synox and Shippy on the DPS, Alazam, and on the tank, and Trick and Midnight Mare on the support. Didn't have, they made it to the midseason tournament. They didn't do very good in that midseason tournament, but, they're trying to make a statement here in the postseason where, at the end of the day, this is where it matters.
Yeah, and these are all really good players. I'm actually pretty familiar with most of these players, and I expect them to put up a really, really good fight here tonight, and I honestly expect a close match between these two teams.
And actually, I'm a big stinky liar. They didn't actually make the midseason tournament. So yeah, they're looking to try and make something of this opportunity that they've been given. And like you said earlier, we've got to start this series between UTOW and Cerberus somewhere, and it's going to be Oasis.
Yep. You love you love the background kind of giving it away there, But Oasis, that's an interesting first map pick. I don't think I've actually seen a team pick that map first so far. So I'm really curious as to why UT has decided to go that way. If they're wanting to play rush comps, which, based on team sheets and what I was seeing, that seems to be their favorite style. Why Oasis over the other maps?
I don't know, because like you said, the traditional map that has been picked first in this tournament has been Nepal, just throughout, because it's just that the popular map, because Lijiang Tower isn't in the map pool right now. So going into Oasis, I wonder if UTOW, because I full stop, I don't know if our information is entirely up to date. So I wonder if coming in here, I mean, you see it on your screen right now. They're both on dive.
This makes more sense to me now, because if the teams wanted to play Rush, I would have expected Samoa, a more flat map. Okay. But if they're going to opt for a dive comp, Oasis makes perfect sense to me. Oasis is probably the best dive map of the maps we have available in rotation right now for Control.
Yep, and I thought that there was some kind of gentleman's agreement there to go Sojourn Venture, but, it will be Zeus on the Venture, so this will be really, really interesting. I've never seen a dive comp with the Venture. As we get into this first map, it will be interesting to see Midnight Mirror getting packed up. Kirsten trying to follow up on that damage, but not quite able to get the job done, but the dive is up there dealing so much damage to the side of Cerberus, but Cerberus is answering in great kind with damage of their own. It'll be trade 2 for 2 here, and you see Synox on the point trying to get things done alone, but Alazan and Synox will not be enough right now to get this job done. Alazan has 76 HP, make that 0 HP, and it will be UTOW that gets the first flip.
Yeah, I need to give a shout out to Spicy Toast. They're really living up to their name right now. 78% to this sound barrier off of one fight. You know that means they are putting in massive, massive damage across the board. Look at that ult difference. It's almost a 50% difference.
Yeah, I mean, the ult advantage will be in the hands of UTOW for the time being as we get into this second fight. They'll cross that 20% mark as you see Synox and Kirsten trying to get up onto this high ground, controlled very well by Cerberus at the moment. Should be very, very low, and Kirsten able to follow up on all of that damage. It will, however, be a trade of Sojourns here as this fight continues. Alazan got very, very low, had to pop the Primal Rage. Midnight Mirror popping off as Alazan throws the backhands at Spicy Toes. It will be Cerberus taking the flip.
Oh, yeah, really good flip there from the side of Cerberus. Both of these Sojourns are just getting absolutely demolished by both of these Winstons, just getting jumped repeatedly. Look, both of them nowhere even near an over toast, and they're probably going to need it to go into this Kitsune rush from the side of Cerberus.
You see Synox has that pulse bomb ready to go. The engagement from Zeus popping out of that burrow, but with again already dead, that's significant amounts of damage already buried for Cerberus Esports. They're gonna see this Kitsune rush out from Trick to try and stabilize this fight, but Zeus can do so much damage on this Venture. Now the Tectonic Surge out, and I mean, there's just not gonna be enough follow-up on the damage that UTOW are doing, and Cerberus are able to bring this fight out. Zeus very low, goes down. Kirsten not going to be able to do it alone.
Yeah, it looks like Kirsten's going to have to get out of here, just barely escaping with their life. And I mentioned that huge ult advantage Spicy Toast has. Spicy Toast still has this same sound barrier online. I think they kind of need to let it rip at some point here. Just because, like I said, what's the point in building ult faster if you're not using it faster?
All right, 70% now for Cerberus Esports. Zeus trying to get up and get aggressive. Very low from the damage of Zeus, but I mean, this Venture dealing so much damage. Gonna burrow one more time. Gonna try and find this Sojourn. Not quite able to get it. Gonna jump up to the high ground now with that drill dash. And UTOW, with their numbers advantage, are going to take the flip. Cerberus know that they've got time. Now Spicy Toes finally going to invest that sound barrier in the face of Shippy's overclock. They think that they can win this fight out with that investment, and they're going to be right about that. Shippy very low, gonna go down here more than likely. No, actually able to back out around the corner.
Oh, wait a minute.
Shippy can find no, but again can. We thought again was gonna be on that DPS or the support, but popping off on the DPS right now. Support again was supposed to be on support. That's what I'm trying to get across. I don't know what's happening. I'm malfunctioning.
We're going to watch here for Trick. Probably going to pop this Kitsune rush down main and just kind of, they're just going to have to int into this point, try and get this, again, stop them from using overclock.
All right, again, popping that overclock. Found an early headshot onto Alazan, and the damage coming through. The Primal Rage has to be used. Again, can just slide away from that ultimate. You saw Alazan get turned around just a bit, but all the damage that UTOW is dealing is good for the map. It's just Alazan left on this point. Gonna be able to take down again, but it's just going to be the desperation touch from Shippy having gone over to that Sombra. It's not going to mean much of anything as UTOW puts an end to this first submap on Oasis.
It was pure chaos for like the entire time. Man. I like the mobility with Zeus running around with that Venture on that point, just like dashing around between the high grounds, using that using the dig into the drill dash. That was really smart play, honestly, overall. And Kirsten in particular having some really good dives onto Shippy with this Winston, kind of denying a lot of that Sojourn value.
Okay, here we go. Not much is going to change on the side of UTOW, but, well, with the exception of, again, on the Sombra, I guess. I don't know why I thought. SO characters, you know, Sojourn, Sombra, it's all the same.
Yeah.
But Cerberus Esports, a really, really traditional dive here as we get into this high ground on Oasis down. It'll be a trade, and a trade that you would think UTOW would be happy to take, but right now it's all red in the kill feed. Spicy Toast gets a parting blow, but it's going to be Cerberus that takes this first flip.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Zeus goes down really early right there, you lose a majority of your damage with this comp because Winston and Sombra can only do so much damage. But again, Spicy Toast having this big ult advantage on Lucio, they must be doing a lot of damage.
Shippy get called out there, but the follow-up is incredible from Synox to help in that Sombra duel. The cleanse already out early to try and keep Spicy Toast alive, but it will not do that. It's going to be Cerberus once again getting a great play early to hold on to the fight.
Oof. Oh, these hacks by Shippy are wonderful right now. They've got to have like fantastic communication between this Tracer Sombra because like you said, Synox is just immediately following up on like all of these hacks. Again, you can see they've already got Pulse Bomb available. That's Zeus swapping to the Torb. That's the admission the Tracer's doing too much. Tracer Sombra doing too much. We got to play Torb now.
All right, it'll be a pretty decent swap up here as Kirsten also going to go over to the Diva to try and find some kind of value here. So we will see Zeus going to throw out that turret early to try and ward the flankers off for a little bit anyway. Just putting this rivet gun to use, trying to find anything that they can. Alazan very low, gets the cleanse by Trick, but Kirsten is more than happy to follow up on all that damage that Synox did. Synox, threw the pulse bomb onto the turret to try and get that off, but able to take down Zeus as well as Shippy finds a good hack here. Almost has the EMP ready to go. Can definitely hold on to this fight if they use it, but will not be able to have the chance. It'll be Cerberus getting this flip. Or losing the flip anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Cerberus, you just kind of want to wait for Shippy, get back. You're going to have 4 ultimates basically available, and you're going into basically just a sound barrier and Kitsune of your own. If you go before again builds this EMP, I think you're going to have a massive advantage here. The Cerberus needs to go really quick right now.
All right, it's going to be up to Trick. The EMP comes out, and I mean, Nayla cannot get that cleanse off fast enough to save Spicy Toast, and 2 down, followed up on with that EMP. It's just going to be a really strong EMP by Shippy to put UTOW away in this fight, and it's just going to be the desperation touches for UT.
Oof. Yeah. But plus side, UT is going to have that EMP of their own up. They have all 5 of their ultimates. They just need to not blow all 5 of them, and they should be able to potentially take this fight.
All right, the Kitsune rush out early from Nayla, and it's going to push Cerberus back, but they can't use that on the point right now. And Zeus throwing out the Molten Core, it's going to be able to ward them off, but Cerberus knows that they've got the time to re-engage here.
And yeah, they are still saving both support ults, a Primal, a Pulse Bomb. Yeah, this is gonna be tough for UTOW. It's gonna be up to Spicy Toast having a great sound barrier, I think.
Right, again, waiting in the wings with this EMP could be massive for UT. The hack is gonna come out, but Shippy's already dead. The double hack onto the Winston. You're not getting away from me this time, Alazan says again. And I mean, the EMP only hits 1, but that's all that UT needed.
Yeah, just the pure destruction of Alazan right there. And you managed to get both support ults out from the side of Cerberus. Now this is looking like UT's map to lose. They have the sound barrier still. And all Cerberus has is that Primal and Pulse Bomb. Like, the Pulse Bomb from Synox has to be absolutely massive if Cerberus wants to take this point.
Need a big play from Shippy, but the aggression gonna come through from Spicy Toast with that sound barrier. They're gonna, they're gonna rotate over to this point to try and take the positioning, but the entire team decided, hey, let's get 5 onto Shippy real quick and take down the Sojourn. And I mean, without that Sojourn, that's a lot of that damage gone for Cerberus Esports, and the follow-up is there as Kirsten takes out 4 in that fight, and it's just Synox left all alone. So sad for this Tracer, just getting poked out by the turret as well. There's just nothing that Synox can do as the Molten Core is going to come out. Shippy gets a late touch, and with Synox and Shippy gone, it will be just these late touches, but Cerberus Esports, they just have no foot to hold. They just have no foothold. There's just nothing they can do.
Yeah, really strong first map from the side of UTOW, and it was really that diva swap. I felt like that did a lot there. UTOW just kind of deciding that Alazan doesn't get to play the game on that Winston.
Yeah, and I'm sure that nobody knows better than you my history on Sombra, right? I
Yeah.
mean, right now she's not in the best place she's ever been in, to
Hmm.
say the least. So it really does take a lot of that cohesion in your team to be able to make the Sombra work. And
Hmm.
I mean, both sides at one point were both playing very, very well on that Sombra. I mean, early
Yeah.
on in that downtown, Cerberus was dominating, or it doesn't matter. But Cerberus was following up very, very well on the hacks that were being thrown out. But
Hmm.
then UT just kind of flipped that on its head, and they decided that they were just going to punish Alazan's hubris, right? They used the
Yeah.
hack, and they knew that Alazan had the Primal Rage. So if they wait that second and a half for that hack to, lose its lockout effect, they probably lose that fight. So
Hmm.
the EMP came out, and Alazan went out, just absolutely eviscerated. So I mean, the Sombra coming out from both of these teams looked good at points, but it's just UTOW that understood what they needed to do late in that map.
Yeah, and I mean, shout out to Zeus swapping over to that Torbjorn as well, just distracting the Tracer and Sombra from the side of Cerberus just long enough to really give them an edge in the fight. Because it's so I played Tracer a good bit as well, and it's so irritating having to just blink over, shoot like 2 clips into a turret just to kill it, and then just rotate back over again. Like it's the most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah, and it helps that Torbjorn's turret has received a few nerfs over the past couple of
Hmm.
months, past couple of patches anyway. But still very, very nuisance for the flankers. But we do know what our next map is going to be. It's going to be Eichenwald or Cerberus Esports map pick. So I think that they want to get back to basics. They want to go rush.
Yeah, definitely. Eichenwald, really good map for that sort of composition. I wouldn't be surprised to see either the Orisa or the Ramatra comp come out, depending on which flavor they're feeling today.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the best composition still right now is the Orisa. I'm
Hmm.
not really sure how confident either of these teams are on that specific composition, right? But
Hmm.
going into Eichenwald, especially first and third Eichenwald, the rush is just a little bit better. You can do a little more on B, but I think overall it's just going to be some variation of the rush comp. UT likes their Ramatra, generally speaking. Um, so I expect to see either Ramatra or Orisa coming into Eichenwald, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some other form of adaptation from one of these teams.
Yeah, they certainly could do either one. Based on the fact that I saw a lot of Kiriko Lucio, that leads me to believe they're going to lean more into the Orisa, just due to it being more. I feel like that works better with the Orisa than it does with the Ram, but that's just me. But we'll see, because again, like you said, the UT listed their favorite composition as being that Ramatra Rush, so they could opt for that as well.
And, as it stands right now with the season 9 DPS change to the healing that the passive denies, that's not what I expected at all, frankly. I mean, I was gonna talk about how Ramatra and Orisa are a little bit stronger because they can just survive a little bit better,
Right.
but Kirsten and UTOW, they're coming out on a poke comp here.
That honestly makes sense to me. A lot of people like playing this poke comp on first point Eichenwald and then swapping afterwards, so maybe this is what they're going to opt to do. And again, you see Spicy Toast opting for this Moira pick as well. Is this going to be like a more DPS heavy Moira that's just like going around and trying to get kills? Is that what I'm about to see right now? Because it feels like that's what I'm about to see right now.
Oh, I guess we will just have to wait and see as Cerberus Esports, they rock out on their Junker Queen rush composition. So a little bit of change of pace for both of these teams as we get into Eichenwald. A lot of damage being thrown out by UT right now on the defense. And Alazan being the one that has to deal with the turret getting very, very low. You see the fade come through from Spicy Toast to avoid that Gracie knife. And you know, Alazan put on his back for a little bit. Cerberus Esports, they're being a little bit timid right now. They're nervous of all of the damage that UT's composition can put into them. They're waiting for maybe Shippy to find something with that railgun. The cleanse has to come out to keep Cerberus alive, and the opening fight will lead with a trade here. But Cerberus Esports health bars are just not that high right now, especially with Zeus putting out all these damage with the rivet gun. 3 for Zeus, and make that 4 for the Torb. And Cerberus Esports, they waited, and their patience was not rewarded.
And yeah, I mean, it was just the overall damage output that was coming from the Torb and the Sigma in particular, because as you can see, we're almost to the Molten Core and Gravitic Flux already. And Alazan's just going to have a lot of difficulty with this Junker Queen. Junker Queen has a hard time breaking through all of the stuff that Sigma in particular does. So I'm expecting this to be really, really difficult for Cerberus.
All right. I mean, they have this Kitsune Rush, which is going to come out first from Trick. They're going to try and follow up on this damage. And once again, it's a trade of a Sojourn for a Lucio. 2 fights in a row there. Alazan doesn't make it out alive here as Kirsten finds big damage with the Gravitic Flux. 3 for the Sigma, and 2 minutes on the clock for Cerberus Esports as they falter one more time.
There's something so satisfying about seeing one of those slight flicks on the rock, the accretion from Sigma. I don't know what it is. I just really love seeing people hit that slight flick and just landing that accretion dead on like that. It's just so nice to see. We are going to see UTOW have both of their support ults available, though. I'm curious how they're going to stagger these out going into this sound barrier from Cerberus.
All right, overclock from Shippy out first, and now the coalescence from Spicy Toast. Sound barrier follows from Midnight Mirror. They're trying to throw everything at this fight. They need something, and when I say they're throwing everything at this fight, I mean that they're throwing everything at this fight. But Spicy Toast and Kirsten are still alive and finding value here. Spicy Toast throwing out all the healing that they can on it to this Sigma, but Kirsten cannot get away with murder, and Cerberus Esports will get at least 2 ticks, but probably going to cap point A.
And yeah, just like you said, that was a big, big ult dump from the side of Cerberus. A smart play, though, overall, because if Kirsten lives for about another 10-15 seconds, they're probably going to build up to a Gravitic Flux and flip that fight in the favor of UTOW. But we are going to see DJ Trash here have the DJ Ash. I'm sorry, Ashtray. DJ Ashtray here is going to have this overclock up and running for this fight, and that's going to be really the only ult on the board until this Gravitic Flux comes out.
All right, here we go. Couple ultimates in the bank right now for UT. So we'll see how they engage this fight as they await the bridge fight against Cerberus Esports. They're just chilling out, pushing the cart. Gonna pick up a few here, but I mean, you don't even need the Gravitic Flux damage to kill Shippy there. Just explodes before they even hit the ground. And I mean, Midnight Mirror and Alazan actually find 1 each, but I feel like the damage has already been done onto Cerberus Esports. Their health bars are just so low, and the overextension from Kirsten is there, and they're going to be able to take down the Sigma. So despite all the damage that UT was doing, Cerberus able to stabilize.
Yeah, Cerberus did a good job of just pulling back, resetting slightly, and just taking out Kirsten when they pushed up a little bit too far there. We are going to see Spicy Toast swap back onto this Lucio, though. Get the Lucio mirror going on. And don't look now, but Alazan has this Gravitic Flux, and everybody's going to be walking in a straight line at them.
Right, Alazan picking up the team and throwing it down. It's just Spicy Toast left here in this fight. The Kiri going to try and touch, but Nayla will get no further than that. No more time off the clock. Cerberus Esports going to cap point B.
Yeah, I mean, just great flux. Once you see all the players are walking down in that same straight line, it's like, okay, let me pop this flux, see if I can get a couple people off the ground, and boom, fight win. You love to see it. Don't look now, but Synox has this blade. They've been doing surprisingly well with the Genji blade so far, not just dying off cooldown like most people do with that ultimate. So, let's see if they can get another big value blade here.
All right, not just a blade, but a bunch in the way of Cerberus. But the first thing to come out in this fight will be the Molten Core. Synox able to slip away from all of that damage as Cerberus awaits the, Molten Core's timer. Now they're going to hit that re-engage here with the overclock of Shippy, trying to find some damage, but not finding much. They have to pop this sound barrier in order to keep the fight rolling, but Synox, they see the low health bars, but the blade not able to leave the sheath fast enough, and UT are going to be able to stand strong at the end of C.
Stronghold from UT because you get basically all the ultimates out of Cerberus, and now you have the big advantage if you're UT. You got Gravitic Flux, you got Sound Barrier, you're about to have Deadeye as well. And really, Cerberus, all they're going to have is just this amplification matrix, and that can only do so much in the face of a, Gravitic Flux. That's a lot of damage that can be done.
All right, turret already gone, thanks to Synox here, who went over to that Mei. So we will see as we get into this fight. Kirsten, a great wall, gonna go down to that, incredible wall by Synox, frankly. Now the sound barrier from Spicy Toast to try and keep this fight rolling, but the amplification matrix from Trick going to be enough to put DJ Astray away. And, despite Spicy Toast leaping on to that Baptiste, Cerberus Esports going to full cap on Eichenwald.
Yeah, that one individual wall by Synox turned everything on its head. Like, just that one wall coming out, that is the power of a Mei wall right there in full action. UTOW had every ult advantage you could think of going into that fight, but wall just denied pretty much every little bit of value that could have been done right there.
You know what I think, that was definitely the fight winner there to put the map away, but you know what I think the turning point in the attack of Cerberus was? Alazon going Sigma.
Oh,
Matching
yeah,
the
definitely.
Sigma of Kirsten was the best play that Cerberus could have done. And, they're not going to stick onto that Sigma, as UTOW won't either, but the second Alazon switched to Sigma, I think they lost one fight after the switch. But from then on, they had the damage, they had the ult rotation, they had the clutch factor, winning out through the rest of that attack. And, despite damn near going to overtime on their point A attack, they finished with almost a minute and a half in the time bank.
Yeah, it was pretty much a roll once that Sigma got mirrored for the side of Cerberus, at least. They just started, like you said, having all that extra poke damage out was doing a lot for them. I'm curious if that's going to stay the same here with them opting to play the Zarya composition right now. The Bubble Venture, that should be fun.
All right, here we go. UTOW now the ones that are on this Junker Queen. Kirsten going to shout early as Synox just ends on the Venture. That there's just nothing else that can be said there than Synox just went way too far in, and maybe that was a product of Kirsten knifing them, but just not enough, as now Cerberus are just going to, or rather UT are just going to run this team down. The bubble going to come out. They're going to be able to take down Zeus as this Venture returns, and Cerberus Esports, despite the horrific position that they found themselves in, they're going to stabilize here.
And yeah, it honestly all started with just not being able to find that pick onto Trick. I didn't mean to rhyme right there. That just happened. But there was that moment right there where Trick was totally vulnerable, and they just could not. Zeus could not, for the life of them, hit the shot on the Torbjorn. And I feel like that might be part of the reason why we're seeing the Genji swap right now.
All right, a re-engagement and a massive anti. Okay, just immediately cleansed by Nayla. Great cleanse there by this Kiriko on the side of UT, who, for the record, almost has the Kitsune Rush. Will throw that out. The trade going to come out. Spicy Toast for Shippy. The Nano Boost onto Synox. Found a little bit of value, and a lot of bit of value from Synox without that Nano Boost. A lot of damage here.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing this. We're going to see this kill come in from the Venture right here, I imagine. Yep, really solid finish off by Synox right there. And it's just been a really strong defense so far. And I mean, don't look now, but we have a grab, an overclock, and the tectonic surge up and running. But Kirsten does have this rampage up and available, and that could be a fight turner all by itself as long as you can get the Zarya bubbles out.
All right, here we go. Rampage out early. Not going to find anything, but the grab is colossal. The sound barrier is the answer from Spicy Toast. Can this tectonic surge find something? Not a final blow, but the damage is good. And Shippy going to work in this backline. You see Kirsten all anteed up right off the map. 1 minute and 20 seconds for UT on the clock, and Cerberus are on a roll right now.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That was a fantastic grab from Alazon, and now we're seeing Kirsten opting to mirror that Zarya. Is this going to be the turning point for UTOW? Because now we're seeing pretty close to... I actually kind of like UTOW's comp better now. They have the rush with the Zarya.
All right, sound barrier and overclock out from UT. Can they find something here? They're able to take out Trick and DJ Ashtray. Shippy answers with an overclock of their own here. Can they find another picture to even this fight out? So much damage on to the Sojourn, and Synox with that drill dash going to follow up on the overclock damage. There has to be a touch here. Now, Synox going to burrow, get the touch, get the kill onto Spicy Toast, and Synox goes ballistic, and the touch is there from Alazon. The anti from the Ana here. Trick gets the nano boost, and Kirsten is just so damn low. The slam gonna come through. The Genji one shot, as is DJ Ashtray. The rolling is just coming through as the reinforcements return for Cerberus Esports, and their damage just does not exist right now. It's just the Genji, but now the reinforcements are returning for UTOW. Overtime begins for UT on their attack, but they lose Zeus here. They need a big ultimate from Nayla and Spicy Toast, but Nayla is dead. The sound barrier out from Spicy Toast has to keep them alive, and kicking here, they need 4%. Synox goes down, the grab comes out from Kirsten. Kirsten finds the damage, and they're finding the numbers right now, but Kirsten overextends and goes down to Midnight Mare, and UTOW cannot get the job done. Cerberus Esports lock them out of Eichenwald.
That was kind of a crazy overtime push overall, but big shout out to Alazon. Just the sheer amount of health they had on that wrecking ball, I think, is the main reason that UT was not able to retake and try and cap that point fully. Just the sheer, wrecking ball just has so much health. Like he had to have at least 1,200 health right there. Like, there's no way wrecking ball had less than 1,200 health in the middle of that fight.
I gotta catch my breath for a second.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Take your time.
I mean,
that fight took about three and a half minutes roughly. Just the overtime fight was at least
it
3
felt
and a
like
half
a year
minutes.
and a half.
It had to
But,
be. It had to be. That was a
yeah.
stupid long contest. And
Oh.
the fact too that everyone that was coming back had their ultimates when they came back. That was also adding to it as well. If Trick comes back and doesn't have nano boost, most likely Alazon does die right there instead of staying alive on that wrecking ball. Like, it was just crazy game so far. 1-1 scoreline, which we love to see. Not a 3 Overwatch again. You love to see it, but we'll see. We'll see where UTOW is going to opt to go with map 3 when we come back from our break here in about 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere.
Name straight, new wave.
right, welcome back, everybody. I mean, we got a series on our hands. What an absolutely wild finish to Eichenwald it was, but moving forward, like you always have to, it's going to be Suravasa for map number 3 as, UTOW's map pick here. So I think, actually, I'm not really sure. We've seen so many looks out of both of these teams that at this point in time, I'm not really sure what the actual game plan is here going into Suravasa.
I mean, we could see Junker Queen Rush Mirror since both teams seem to like to play that comp so much. Yeah, that could be what they opt to go for. Nobody's played the Orisa yet. Maybe they have a handshake agreement to not play Orisa. I mean, I get it. I don't really care for Orisa myself when I play tank, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, coming into Suravasa, I mean, we got a good look at our Gator friends here. All 3 of them right here. Love those guys. Just chill ass vibers. But as we get into Suravasa, Junker Queen mirror, but that's the only thing that's mirrored at the moment anyway.
You know, we did see the Lifeweaver Ana come out from the side of Cerberus last time, so maybe UTOW is like, let's, Spicy Toast seems like the type of player that likes to play likes to have the funny heroes every so often, so okay, that makes more sense to me now.
Zeus has happened to find quite a bit of value, at least on Oasis. We saw Zeus get a lot of value on this venture pick, so interesting map, our composition selection here for UTOW as they take a lot of damage going into market. A nice little knife there onto Alazan, not going to lead to a pick, but I mean, guess who? It's Shippy with a railgun straight through the skull of again is now Cerberus. They're just going to run it up, and it'll be Cerberus's first flip here for market.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Shippy hitting a headshot, and then you win the fight. Like, it's just kind of that simple. That's what the Sojourn can do for you. That's why you play it with this composition typically. This is why they're playing the Jotes comp, essentially, just instead of Brig, they're playing Moira. It makes perfect sense to me. I'm just kind of curious how they're going to be able to close the distance onto this Sojourn.
I mean, Zeus trying to get something done, finds a lot of damage, but no get out of jail card there for Zeus. No burrow, no drill dash, no nothing. Now they have lost a significant portion of their damage, but Cerberus have lost a significant portion of their healing. So there needs to be some kind of play made by one of these teams. Kirsten going to be able to cut down Alazan, and I mean, right now the numbers are very, very close, but I believe it is just Spicy Toast left in this fight, and Cerberus are able to clean it up.
And I mean, yeah, it's getting real messy every single time, and Zeus is probably just getting called out every time they burrow underground on this venture. It's going to be really hard unless the entire team of UTOW just ints with Zeus when they go in like that for them to stay alive.
I mean, Zeus is going in again. They get the touch for the point as the re-engagement comes from UTOW. Now the overclock from this high ground from a Shippy trying to find Nayla, not quite able to get the final blow there. Trick frozen up, but saved by the sound barrier. Synox is going to work here, however, and the sound barrier just too little, too late for UTOW. Cerberus going to throw out the Coalescence as a just sort of security measure, and they will capture the market.
Yeah, and we see Zeus opting for this Torbjorn swap again. I feel like they've gotten a lot more value on this hero than they have the Venture, so I expect this to be big time, especially with Synox having this blade available. They're going to have to make sure that turret's down before they're really able to go in super hard with this ult. But don't look now, Kirsten has this advantage with the Rampage. I think that's going to prove to be massive in this fight.
All right, here we go. Ruin's going to unlock in just about 5 seconds. So we will see the Kitsune Rush come out from Nayla first, as the damage is going to be there good for Midnight Mirror. Going to be able to cut down the Moira. As I mean, all of this damage through the lens of that Kitsune Rush is it's just so much.
Yeah, most definitely. A huge wall from, again, the way that they caught out Midnight Mare's fade. That was kind of a crazy little sequence that happened, and all it cost you was a Kitsune Rush, so you can't really be mad at that. But Cerberus having Rampage and Blade available, that's a really strong combo that can definitely guarantee you some kills, provided you get the Suzu out of Nyla before you do so.
All right, the Rampage is good for 2 here. Now the Dragon Blade from Synox also good for 2, but it will go down to Zeus. The trades are here right now, and Alazan finally able to put away this. The Junker Queen is finally tricked. You know, it looked like Spicy Toast wanted something creative there, but it will be Cerberus wrenching it away from them.
All I gotta say is shout out to Spicy Toast aim with those Cheerios. I saw Alazan go from 150 to 0 almost immediately right there. That had to be some crazy good aim. And then looking at Cerberus, they're gonna have 4 ults up and available. Spicy Toast needs to build up to this sound barrier as soon as possible.
All right, Cleanse is already out from Nayla early, and so much damage is just being thrown into the face of Alazan. The Junker Queen will go down. Shippy has to find something else with this overclock, but cannot get it done. You know, Zeus does end up going down, but it's just Trick and Midnight Mirror left, and the flip goes back over to UTOW.
Yeah, I mean, Alazan went a little bit too deep there with that ultimate, just kind of caught themselves out and made themselves an easy kill. And UTOW, I don't think Cerberus is going to be able to. No, they're going to definitely touch.
All right, they get the touch, but again, had the Blizzard. Not going to be able to use that in this final fight, potentially for the Ruins. The Molten Core going to be good to, you know, control a lot of this space, going to shove a lot of Cerberus, you know, into lockers. The Coalescence is doing real well for Midnight Mirror to keep people alive and kicking. It's just Kirsten left.
Yeah, great Coalescence for Midnight Mare, like you said. I think I saw Alazan go down to like 5 HP, maybe 3 times right there. That Torbjorn turret was putting in that extra damage the entire time too. And now UTOW definitely has the advantage here. They just need to make sure they don't burn all their ultimates when they try and go in for this.
All right, one more fight here potentially for this point again. You're gonna get knifed, has to use the ice block early. Spicy Toast is gone. The Rampage hits 2 for Cerberus. Midnight Mirror faded out of it. It would have been 3, but I mean, the damage is coming through from Cerberus, and there's just not gonna be a touch for UT as Cerberus going to move to map point on the Ruins.
Oof, and not only if you're UT did you not take that point, but you burned all your ultimates at the same time too. So you're walking into this fight completely dry, and we see again opting to swap onto this Venture. Cerberus just has such a massive ultimate advantage with them having both DPS ultimates and this Rampage available for them. This is gonna be a tough first fight for UTOW.
Anox has the blade in the sheath. Shippy, Alazan, both real close to their ults. So, yeah, like you said, this is going to be a brutal fight for UT, who touches before the flip comes through for Cerberus. So they're going to have a little bit of time here as the shout comes out from both sides. Shippy is very low. The Dragon Blade comes out. Can they find anything from Synox? The cleanse comes through. It'll be a trade again for Alazan, but UTOW have the blue in the kill feed as Cerberus going to falter in this fight.
And I mean, yeah, just really strong response from UTOW to have no ults of your own and still just manage to kind of outplay Cerberus in the grand scheme of the fight. It's really strong response. I mean, Cerberus did manage to hold all of their ults, so I think Spicy Toast has to be big time here again. This sound barrier is going to need to sustain them throughout all the ultimates that are about to come out from Cerberus.
Right, here we go. Molten Core used early by Zeus to try and ward it off, so the rotation gonna come through, but you know, Zeus was patient with that Molten Core. Threw a little bit where they were, threw a little bit where they were gonna be. So, you know, it's gonna be good to ward off a lot of this aggression, but as it fades away, the Coalescence is thrown out. Shippy as well going to use this overclock. The sound barrier from Spicy Toast gonna keep them alive as, oh my god, I've never seen it be closer than that flip there. But finally, Cerberus Esports move forward. They get the aggression, they get the damage, they get the kills. They're gonna get the flip.
Yeah, they are eventually going to get this flip here, but this is a really annoying Lucio from Spicy Toast. You managed to get it to 94%, and you only burned the sound barrier and the molten core. You kept all of your really high damage ultimates available to you. So, and you managed to get the support ults out from Cerberus. The only thing Cerberus has is Alizon's Rampage, and they're going to be going up against the Tectonic Surge, the Rampage, and the Kitsune Rush from UTOW. It's gonna require a picture-perfect fight from Cerberus for them to take this.
All right, Rampage out, hits 2. Elazon has to shout, but Spicy Toast follows up on all of that damage, and that will do it for the Palace. You know, again, does go down late here, but, you know, at 94%, there's going to be some touches here as Trick busts a move. Not going to be able to do anything there, but stall for a little bit. But it will be UTOW capping out the point on the Temple. They're still alive here on Saravasa.
Yeah, you know that ultimate can do just an absurd amount of damage, but the Rampage and Blade we know have been strong from Alizon and Synox so far.
All right, here we go. Kitsune Rush out first from Nayla. They're going to be able to just walk away from the Dragon Blade. Synox trying to find something, dashes up onto Nayla, going to cut down the Kiriko. The trades are coming through, but Trick is also coming through. 2 for the Lucio to put this fight closer and closer in the way of Cerberus, and it's just Kirsten left with about 35 HP, but Trick, of course, punching Kirsten in the jaw to lock the point up.
I mean, great boop from the side of Trick. Was that off the map, or were those just two individual boop kills?
I think one was.
Okay, because I was like, man, that's kind of crazy to get 2 boop kills on this map. And Cerberus did still hold on to their Rampage, so if they can get that Suzu out early from Nyla, the Rampage can be absolutely huge, because again, they got 4 ults. Like, my goodness.
All right, Alzon's Rampage is big, but Spicy Toast the only one to be consistently affected by it, and look who it is. May not very well need it here. Shippy throws out the overclock, but it's just Shippy and Trick. They're just going to back out here to save their own lives.
Yeah, even with the heroics of Trick. Looks like we're going to a pause here. Not sure what's going on. Probably some sort of technical issue, I would have to imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just like right now, Cerberus, you know, they're losing out in a couple of fights here and there, but right now their aggression is crazy. They're just running down UT without fear, and Trick right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have what he's having, right? Like, that is crazy how this Lucio is playing.
Yeah, those boops off the side on the point on that last point were pretty crazy to see.
She, by the way, it's Trick is she. That's my bad.
Yeah, the struggles of not having 2 screens, right?
Yeah. Guy. That's why I'm doing this, huh?
Right. But yeah, really good boops. Both Lucio players honestly have just been absolutely stellar so far. Like, I'm always amazed to see how good the Lucios are at this level, because they'll just run it down main and 1v1 any of the characters on the roster and probably beat them most of the time.
I mean, this is a really close map that, you know, Cerberus got out to a pretty early lead on, but UT slowly but surely clawing their way back, but we're getting back into this series. Cerberus, they're very close to winning this map out entirely, but right now, UT, they've got the flip, they've got the resources.
Yeah, you're really only going to see Kirsten having this Rampage and Trick having the Sound Barrier. That's like the 2 perfect opposing ultimates if you're the side of Cerberus. So we'll see if they can pull this fight off here.
All right, Rampage is out, but Trick doesn't throw out the Sound Barrier. They just allow the fight to go through, and I mean, there was nothing gained from that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe they just weren't expecting the Rampage due to the pause. They forgot where all the ults were at, maybe. I'm not too sure, but I definitely expected the sound barrier response there from Cerberus. But now, because of that, UTOW is walking up to about 3 ultimates: the Kitsune Rush, Tectonic Surge, and the Molten Core. So this is gonna be a lot harder. And then Spicy Toast takes out Midnight Mare early.
Yeah, so they don't have their Moira in this final fight for the temple, but I mean, UTOW bringing it back from the brink. I mean, what a fight by them. What a point by them. They're on map point 2.
Yeah, I'm not again. Spicy Toes getting that early pick on the Midnight Mare. You just don't have a fight anymore. You don't have your support alive. There is no fight to be had. And all you had to burn was the Molten Core. So you have, for your UTOW, you have a big ultimate advantage coming into this fight.
All right, Kitsune Rush out early from Nayla to engage this fight for UTOW again with the Tectonic Surge. Gonna try and find a bit of damage here, but I mean, those ultimates are gonna fade away well before this point unlocks, so Cerberus bides their time, goes back in, but loses Shippy first. So a significant portion of their damage is gone, but they don't want to give it up here. They know the Spicy Toast is very low. They're trying to take out this Lucio, but the damage gonna be good from Kirsten to put Cerberus down here. You know, despite losing Spicy Toast, UT, they're gonna be comfortable.
Yeah, I expected the sound barrier to come out from Spicy Toast at some point there, but the fact that they held it is absolutely massive, because now you're looking at a Rampage, you're looking at an Overclock, you're looking at a Blade, you're looking at a Coalescence as well from the side of Cerberus. So Spicy Toast having this sound barrier available, I think, is going to be absolutely huge in this upcoming fight.
All right, I mean, UTOW, they are up to damn near 70%, so it's going to take something big here from Cerberus. Synox has to be great with this Blade. It gets the sound barrier out, which is which is fine enough. It works. Rampage going to come out from Alazan, hits 4 players, and I mean, there's just nothing that UT can do to ward off the Junker Queen, and Cerberus are going to take the flip.
Yeah, and I mean, that's about as well as you could have expected that to go if you were UT. With you only having the sound barrier, you were only going to deny the Rampage or the Blade. There's no way you were going to deny both. But you did get both of them out along with the Coalescence. So that's about as good of a trade as you can expect to have there. Now you're just going to have to deal with Shippy's Overclock, Trick having this sound barrier. But you have a Tectonic Surge and a Rampage, and yep, there's the Rampage.
It's Colossal hitting 4 there for Kirsten, but able to ward it off this time is Trick with that sound barrier. Again, popping the Tectonic Surge, finds a lot of damage that gets followed up on by Zeus. And right here, right now, UTOW, they want to put this map away, and they will. They're going to take the flip. They're going to take the point. They're going to take the map to move to match point.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, textbook Lucio play in particular. Like, I shout out to Spicy Toast and Trick. Like, these are some of the best Lucios I've seen playing in these tournaments. Like, they've been fantastic. And here comes some of those boops we were seeing earlier.
Yeah, this is 2, I think, right? This is where,
Yep.
throws off Nayla and then throws off the Venture. Yeah, what a play by Trick there. Unfortunately, it did not lead to a map win, where UTOW, they move to match point here. They're trying to stay up in this upper bracket. I mean, I think it's worth noting this is their first match of the tournament. They did not play in the first round. They had a bye because, they were top 2. They won the midseason tournament, and they're trying to keep their title alive. So moving forward, I mean, Cerberus, they're looking good though.
Yeah, I mean, these look like teams that finished with similar records, quite frankly. I felt like the map kind of turned after that pause, though. It didn't feel like Cerberus was really able to regain their footing once that pause happened. It felt like it was firmly in UTOW's control after that point, moving forward.
And sometimes pauses are unfortunate, right? But they're gonna happen. It's just a problem in gaming in general. Peripherals and equipment are always going to malfunction some way or another. It doesn't matter if you're online or on LAN. Something's always going to go wrong. So I mean, at the end of the day, you've got a few seconds, couple minutes to try and talk, right? Because you don't have pauses in the middle of the game like you see in Valorant esports. You lose a few rounds in a row, you take a pause, you can talk about it. So you just have to take advantage of those moments and say, hey, we've got to, let's figure out what we're doing wrong here. And UT they did that well. And Cerberus, they got out to a 2-0 lead, but UT, they were composed and they reverse swept Cervasa because they were composed.
Yeah, like I said, great recovery from UT in the grand scheme of that particular map. And it's going to be up to Cerberus to decide where we're going to go next. And let me take a look at that map pool just to be sure. So it's going to be push. Honestly, I would be surprised to see anything other than Esperanza. It feels like that's all we ever see. But maybe they could get creative and pull out the Queen on New Queen Street. I know some people like to do that every so often. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, once again, these teams have showed off a lot of different stuff throughout this series. Both of them, right? It's just ridiculous how flexible these teams have proven themselves to be, and highly effective when they are flexible as well. So going into push, I mean, I don't know. They could do whatever they want, right? If they want to go back to their roots and maybe play the Junker Queen, I could see them going to Coliseo, right? If they want to go back to the Winston, I think the best place for that is Esperanza. If they want to go to the Sigma, I think damn near all of them can work. I mean, at this point, anything is on the table for Cerberus Esports in this series.
Yeah, it's just probably going to be which map they feel the most practiced on and feel like they understand the map geometry the best. So, Oh, okay. So we do have our map pick in. Drum roll, please.
It's the Roman one, the one in the Coliseum. What's that?
Yeah,
What's it called?
It's that one. It's that one.
Coliseo. We're going to Coliseo here, so you got to imagine that Cerberus. I mean, they really, really believe in their Junker Queen compositions. As I got to imagine, that's what they come out on here. Once again on Coliseo, as they did on Eichenwald and Cervasa.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing we don't just see another Queen mirror like we just witnessed. And I'm curious if Zeus is going to decide to keep playing this Torb, because it's actually been wildly entertaining trying to see Cerberus deal with this turret. And then a lot of fights they just don't deal with the turret, so the turret just gets all this residual damage over the course of the fight. Like I said, man, turret is always the MVP of every fight that it's in.
Yeah. The adaptation on the Torbjorn has actually been working very, very well for UT. I mean, you see Zeus trying to get stuff done on the Venture, but they are so new to this roster that it's kind of hard to understand where they lie, right? I generally speaking think that Venture belongs in, rush compositions where you're trying to get up into the face of people, but we saw them come out on a dive composition as neither of these comps are really what I expected from either of these teams, as Kirsten is hovering the Maga.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're seeing a Maga into a Sigma comp, so, that's a thing. Is Cerberus expecting the Maga? No, just a Queen, the skinny Maga. That's what we call Queen.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, as we get in here, a little bit, once again, a difference of opinion on how to play this map out. So we will see as we get underway in Coliseo for the series here right now. So a little bit of just poke here, as Alazan is happy to do that for the most part. Not really anybody on the side of UTOW with the exception of Zeus that really can reliably poke, but Zeus is on a flank right now, so not really doing a whole lot in the way of poking is UT, as Cerberus are just trying to build up to some ultimates as we speak. Nothing really in the way of major damage has happened to either of these two teams, and in such a classic Coliseo fight as this one. You know, a minute in the clock. Nobody has even gone below half HP, besides Trick, I guess, but saved by the Immortality Field. And finally, the engagement gonna come through from UT. Damage from Zeus going to be able to lead to a fight win here early in Colosseo. And finally, they should be able to get this point rolling. A disengagement from UT, or from Cerberus, will lead to the first percentage being taken by UT.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge, huge first pick onto the May of all things, you know, and Spicy Toast and Nyla both having sound barrier up. We're walking into a big ult fight right now, and I really want to see a big time Kitsune rush, just kind of forcing Cerberus off a point here.
Hey, here we go. The Molten Core not as spread out as you usually see from Zeus, so maybe a bit of a misplay there, misstep, as Cerberus Esports going to take advantage of that lack of space control that UTOW gave to them. So once again, oh, that's not great, as again gets caught out in the back line, as UTOW, they're just gonna have to disengage.
And yeah, I mean, you managed to get both support ults out and overclock out if you're the side of UTOW. So Spicy Toast has sound barrier available for the Goridic Flux and the Blizzard that are eventually going to be coming here. And I think UTOW definitely has the big advantage here in terms of the ultimates.
All right, here we go. Goridic Flux in the hands of Alizon, gonna go up. The Rampage canceled by the Goridic Flux.
Oof.
Kirsten not able to get the Rampage off in time, as the Tectonic Surge is going to be good for 2. But, I mean, look who it is. Trick evens up the fight. They are having to play very, very safe around this this turret from Zeus, as, you know, the Lucio duel interrupted by Nayla, but no holds barred in this fight. But Midnight Mare punching Torbjorn in the jaw. Zeus goes down. Cerberus continues their push.
Yeah, I mean, great response. That support line of Cerberus is doing a great job of, like, not only doing a lot of healing, but getting a lot of that damage in as well.
Incredibly powerful ultimate, and nothing to really, you know, stop that damage from happening, with the exception of just UT walking out of the Blizzard. So Kirsten gets the cleanse, is still very, very low, but the cleanse from Nayla is good to keep the Junker Queen alive, swinging and killing, and UT avoid the Blizzard to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, just great kiting, quite frankly. I wish I could figure out how to do that. I'm terrible at getting out of May Blizzards, so kudos to UTOW right there for managing to get out of that ultimate. That's honestly the whole reason they just won that fight. A lot of ultimates online for Cerberus though, so I would expect them to have a good fight right now.
All right, here we go. One more time for Cerberus Esports. Alizon blowing the doors wide open. A significant amount of damage gone as Shippy pops his overclock, pops Spicy in the mouth, and Zeus is just looking a little bit lost. Don't know where to go in the face of that Sojourn. And was that an ace for Shippy? No, Alizon got the first kill, I think. No, but it was a clean 4K for Shippy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alizon definitely got first pick right there. But for you, but to win that fight and all you had to burn was the overclock, you got to be happy with that if you're the side of Cerberus.
Oh, you see again in underground, just chilling out, eating rocks and whatnot, whatever Venture does when they're down there. But has this Tectonic Surge ready to go, as do UTOW have 4 ultimates here. Sound Barrier, Kitsune Rush are going to start this fight out. The Rampage going to come out, only hits Midnight Mirror, who throws out the Sound Barrier to keep the fight going, as again is in the back line, or on top of the high ground actually. Do not expect that positioning from the Venture, but it will be Cerberus. You know, there's going to be some touches here late from Spicy Toast, but Cerberus are going to take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, big time fight for the side of Cerberus. It cost you a lot of ultimates, but you'll take that because you did manage to hold on to your Blizzard. And I think it's going to be a lot more difficult to get out of Blizzard now when you're running the Ramatra, who typically likes to just kind of stand still and put their hands up and just play defense, you know?
Adaptations coming from UT. They need to be big. You know, the lead isn't massive for Cerberus, only a couple of centimeters. So we will see if they can bring this fight back. Synox has this Blizzard ready to go. Not quite gonna, get too aggressive here. You can walk around this pillar potentially, but with the Molten Core there coming out from Zeus once more. Ooh, that is a big Blizzard. Kirsten not able to get out this time in the face of the Blizzard, as Sino is going to be able to bring this fight out with that Blizzard.
Yeah, I mean, that was just great patience. You waited for the speed boost to get used. You waited for the Nemesis to get used. You get that initial little speed boost off of it. Just great timing from the side of Synox. And, we're going to see the checkpoint denied, though, so that could be big.
All right, the Tectonic Surge out from again, trying to find all of this damage. The Gravitic Flux going to pick up 2, and Midnight Mirror, they're not going to be able to get away right now, as, it'll be a good fight here after a great touch from UT.
Yeah, absolutely huge touch, using the bridge tech to kind of stop Cerberus from being able to cap point. That could prove absolutely massive, especially because now UTOW has a Kitsune, Annihilation, and a Sound Barrier, and they're only going to be going into an Overclock and a Amplification Matrix. Oh, that could actually be a lot of damage. They decide to combo that.
All right, Sound Barrier as well as the Nemesis form. There's going to be a Annihilation here from Kirsten, but the disengagement is there. They have lost Shippy, but that's a big trade. Zeus gets caught out of position in the face of an Amplification Matrix, and Kirsten can only throw their hands up in one direction, and Cerberus Esports are mauling them right now, as they're able to keep Kirsten alive for the time being, able to back up and stay in this fight as the clock ticks down to 90 seconds. There are no ultimates left in this fight. They're playing around the shield. The wall is there from Sino, as as I say that, the Blizzard is able to be popped by Sino, built up to it to take down Spicy Toast, and Cerberus Esports are just pushing the weak spots of UT. But again, in Zeus find some picks there, but finally it will be Cerberus Esports bringing this fight out firmly.
Yeah, really strong fight win for Cerberus. There's, I believe UT is going to be able to do the bridge touch. Nope, they're just not going to push the bot. Yeah, that's probably the smart play. Just take the fight back at mid. You have like you have a 13-meter advantage. You're pretty much in one fight territory no matter what. And Alazan is going to have this Gravitic Flux, and there's going to be no Sound Barrier response from UTOW. So this could be a fight-winning ultimate from Alazan.
All right, here we go. 30 seconds left. Cerberus in the lead to take us to a map number 5. Potentially the accretion is out, as Trick going to throw down the Amplification Matrix they knew again would be there, but again drills straight through Trick. Shippy able to punch the Rock Muncher in the face. No more rocks for you, but Cerberus Esports, they have to back up. They still have some resources, but they're dying, and with 5 seconds on the clock, I just cannot imagine there's anything that they can do. Overtime begins, and they only need 3 meters. The touch comes from Sino. Shippy's overclock meant absolutely nothing, as UTOW continue to put this away right now. The Flux not going to be good enough, as again drills through, and Cerberus Esports in the last moments could not ward off the strength of UTOW Academy Blues as they move on, I think, into the winner's final.
I believe so, yes. With them having the bye, they should only need the 1 game to make it up to the top of the bracket. So yeah, the Ramatra swap ended up being absolutely huge, and I think it was more so just because the Ram can just sustain longer. Kind of the same reason the Orisa ends up being played a lot. It's just the pure amount of sustain you can have on the tank. That's kind of the tank role these days. Just don't die as long as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ramatra is a firm second best at doing that, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, in the face of a Sigma, there's only that one thing that you got to worry about, and it's the accretion canceling that
Mhm.
out. So, I mean, it was a great adaptation by UT into the Sigma of Cerberus, which frankly did look great for
Mhm.
most of that map. And even up until the end, it looked great. But UT had the clutch factor to say, hey, there's only 15 seconds left and there's 2 people left alive. We're just going to run
Yeah.
y'all down, and there's just
Yeah.
absolutely nothing you can do.
Well, I mean, yeah, shout out to again having that dive onto the back line with the venture right there in that very last fight. Getting those early picks like that, that really just gives your team all the confidence in the world. If you trade 2-for-1, you'll take a 2-for-1 trade every single time because you'll just be able to, like you said, run it down mid and just kind of. You see Kirsten just getting those punches off on the Ramatra and getting 2 kills there, and you're just able to run it right down because you get the early pick on the Baptiste.
Yeah. I mean, what a series we had. It was very, very close for those. Actually, all 3 of our last maps were very, very close. UT did kind of blow out Cerberus on Oasis, but all 3 of those maps were decided by centimeters, it feels like. Micrometers, even. I mean, all 3 were very, very close, but UTOW, they're the ones that come out on the top of this series, 3-1 over Cerberus Esports. Shadow, do you have anything to say before we head off tonight?
No, best of luck to both teams. I imagine Cerberus is going to have a good time in that lower bracket because, again, UTOW won the midseason tournament, so they have to be the favorites going in, I'd imagine. So, you playing the favorites to this close of a game, I imagine it's going to be some really good games down in that lower bracket.
I will say, they did end up winning that midseason tournament, but in week 8, they lost 3-0 to Mythos Gamera, who they've got a date with in the winners finals. So, this team of UTOW is forming kind of this rivalry throughout this season with Mythos Gamera. I mean, they've played 3 times now. I think technically week 7 was a forfeit, unfortunately. So, this would be their 3rd time playing. In the finals of the midseason tournament, UT beat them 3-2. Then they got their get back in week 8, winning 3-0. Now there's going to be another fight in the winners finals. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. We will be back with that tournament. And another shout out here. We've got the final day of our Kunoichi Commotion tournament here on CGL and the Kunoichi Twitch channel. So keep an eye on that. We've got, a few great matches, some great teams left. Will be a lot of fun. So stick around, keep an eye, turn on those notifications. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great night, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. Have a good night, y'all.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.